What's good, everybody? Go ahead and break this little nightcap session down. And you know what we're gonna do. Gonna check out the spot and everything real quick. And see what we got. So, of course, we gotta start off with the spy. Now, to be honest, I thought we was coming down. To be honest, I thought we was coming down, but the market decided it wants to go up. This little gap down right here, buyers stepped in, and we pushing prices higher. So one thing that I did notice on the daily chart is this big bullish engulfing candle right here. Buyer stepped in, grabbed bought in around the lows, took out the highs. Now we're still catapulting up to the upside. So um, check it out. Next price target right now would be 672. So that'd be pretty dope if you're a bull. Um, I'm cautious about buying this high. I mean, of course I should be, but to have this bullish engulfing candle on the daily, you see it got bought up right around where the actual um, opening price was. So that was our opening price. I'll just change that for blue just so we can identify it. But that was that opening price. As you can see, buyers stepped in again around there, bought it up, pushed it straight up to the upside today. So um, we can continue to play this candle on the daily bullish until it breaks below the 662.89. Well, actually, until it breaks lows. So let's move it down to about 661.60. So you can play this bullish until it takes out lows at 661.80. So I mean that's pretty dope. That's a pretty solid indication that we're gonna continue to push higher, coming off of that bullish engulfing candle yesterday, playing off the momentum today to the upside. So we're gonna look at 672. And real quick, today we went into we started a new quarter. Very important, very important. So I like to go and I like to look at um, how candles are closing. So if you go and you look at this 3 month, I already had bear trap above, um, and that's if we would have pulled back. But of course, we continue to push higher. So um, big green candle, lows are around 615, highs are around 667 for the previous quarter, going into a new quarter. So of course, that'll be today going all the way through um, December. So very, very important. So we're gonna watch this going into tomorrow. I think we have some data coming out tomorrow. Uh, can't remember right off top. October 3rd, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, pre-market, and then during market, you got ISM services PMI. So definitely look out for that. Thursday says we don't have anything scheduled. Today we had a little bit come out at 9. So keep your eyes out for Friday for the non-farm payrolls. the unemployment rate, and the ISM services PMI. So very interesting to see how tomorrow plays out after seeing that nice bullish engulfing candle. Same thing with the Qs. I was actually looking for another rejection here at 602. You see previously it rejected around this range, and today it attempted to turn that into support for the next move up. Next target would be 607.90. So let's look at the daily, see if we have any type of nice engulfing candles. Nothing quite yet. Not quite. But as you can see, nice strong green candle on the daily. Um, Nothing really on the weekly. We just kind of took out last week's highs. So that'll be a pivotal point in playing more momentum to the upside. How much, I'm not sure, but we're definitely riding above opening price right now at 5.99. So this candle wouldn't be back bearish unless this actually dropped back below here before the week's close. But as long as we stay above this closing candle, I mean this opening price here at 5.99, then we should be good. So as most of you guys know, I'm still in Amazon. I'm down roughly like 40% on two contracts. I've been holding it for a while, and it's all good. I've been trading around it. Traded AVGO today. I end up taking off like $100 on the breakout on AVGO. We played Costco, played Coca-Cola. So we just been trading around the dip that Amazon has been having. But if I take a look at it, we've been bouncing around this 217 level, and we actually could be entering calls. This could be a prime opportunity to be averaging down on those, but since it's already a losing trade and it's been consolidating here between this 222 and 217, I just didn't want to pour any more money into a losing trade. So I got until October 24th, and I got a 235 strike price. So I'm targeting these highs up here. If we can get buyers to step back in around 225, then that'll enable us to push a little bit higher to retest this 230 and 233 levels. So I haven't quite given up on Amazon quite yet, but like I said, buyers have been strong at around this 216, 217 level. So as long as it continues to hold here, instead of going for the 235, I would go for the 220 strikes. That just keeps us in the money, and earnings is still trying to be decided whether it's going to be the 24th or the 30th, 23rd or the 30th. So I think on here is 23rd, and then on Robinhood is the 30th. So that's what I'm watching. If we break below this little level here, then my next range that I watch for is like 211. That'll definitely give us nice opportunities to buy back into 220 calls at a better discount. Kind of like here and retest. Buyer stepped in very nicely back here below that 216, 217 level. So pretty dope opportunity. Back up to 220. If we see that retest back down here, I'll be shooting for these. If not, then we can break to the upside. Hopefully we can get some momentum, maybe a premium pop on these Amazon contracts is what I've been hoping for. But if not, I'm just gonna let it keep riding. We'll keep trading around it like we have been. So that's Amazon. Palantir made a beautiful move today. It's been using its 176, 177 level as support right here. And we get short little breaks below it, but it's been getting bought up fairly well. So it broke out And it's using this 183 as support. If we continue to push to the upside, 190 could be that could be our next level that we look for. And I mean, and it's levels higher than that. Like I said, I got 201 on the books too. We'll just have to see how it all plays out. But as of right now, I think Palantir, we all know, is just one of them stocks. It just likes to go up. We may get a little consolidation, a little chop, but for the most part, if you buy the dip and you got time on it, then eventually you'll see the profits come back to it. So that's the little breakout that we saw. We could look for a retest around 183. If it trades sideways, we can see it kind of consolidate outside this pattern trend here before making its way back up. Or the market just has some good news. Watch it go to the upside. I know it's a lot of talk going on with like government shutdowns and everything, so I'm not sure if Palantir is going to be one of them stocks that's going to be affected by it. We'll just have to see. But I'm not one of them ones, as you know, that really trades news. I just trade strictly the charts. Whatever happens or whatever it shows me, you know, I'll play it going into the momentum or whatnot. But I'm not really big on trade news. We kind of had like a nice flat but bullish candle here, but we broke those lows back over here, so it's trying to reset. And like I said, it's at a pivotal point, above 183. You just see how it holds up going into the rest of the week. Like I said, we're going into another quarter. So I'm sure that this previous quarter closed bullish. We'll just have to see how it holds up, see how it digests this government shutdown stuff. Because I know Palantir, I think it's thriving off a lot of these government contracts that it's been, you know, that it's been getting handed over to. So watch 190. If we can hold this 183 level, we can see this breakout and push to the upside up here. If you want to go long to the upside. Let's see. MSTR has been an interesting one that we've been keeping track of. A lot of it's been playing out exactly how we've been looking at it. You feel me? So we had a big triangle pattern on a bigger time frame, and recently we broke out below gap down and a retest. So today it decided it wanted to gap back inside of it, and we've been looking at a 350 strike up here. So if it gets up here, that's going to be retesting the top of this trend. Like I said, if it breaks out of this, then we can possibly look at like the 365 strikes. But as of right now, I'm not big on touching it while it's inside of here. Just seeing how it's been drained before. We got a gap down here. Even if it does open up high, it's a good possibility at some point it's going to want to drain itself down and refill these gaps and push itself back down. Um, Probably got a bearish quarter coming out of, yeah, very bearish quarter. Yeah. So the highs right now are around 457 for the previous quarter. Lows are here at 302. So watch for the chop this upcoming quarter, possible downside. We'll just have to see how it decides it wants to recover for this. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of news like this. Um, well, I guess not like this. Yesterday I had news about them buying more Bitcoin on the dip when it was around like 109, 110 or somewhat. So I expect some of the catalysts to play a part in it moving back up to the upside with it buying more Bitcoin on the dip. So if you're in MSTR and you still riding calls or whatnot, it's been pretty dope. I know some of y'all have been holding like coin calls after we called it out. What, last week, last Friday, and it's been looking pretty dope. You feel me? So just to look at coins, since I know some of y'all still holding, I told y'all take profit at 338. It's trading above here and trying to take out highs. So if Bitcoin decides it wants to run like it is up to 118, if it decides it wants to continue to run to the upside, next level for coin is going to be 358. I know Bread Boy, he's in more coin calls, I believe, but it's been a beautiful move. I alerted it down here, and I actually entered my calls, which I think I entered 325 or 330 calls. I can't remember, but I entered down here and I actually took profit on that little pump right there. But if you held like some of the people did, you're pretty good. It retested 329. It gapped up above 338, and I was sitting around 335, trying to make that support. Bitcoin runs overnight. We're looking at 358 as our next price target. So watch out for that, and that'll be another nice move. Hood, that's been an early runner. We've been trading the hood since around here, trading the 123 strikes. 123 strikes have been making a lot of money. Gave us a second opportunity to enter actually right here after this rejection up here. And on the retest, it actually absolutely destroyed that 129 rejection. So we're looking at an overextended move. Definitely watching to see if somehow it pushes 145. I think is extremely high up here. And I still believe that we probably retest this 129 at some point. But like I said, right now is, let's see, increases price target for Robinhood to 152 per share, up from 134. And Morgan Stanley decided that they would want to raise the price target too, from 110 to 146. So, I mean, it's been getting a lot of bank upgrades. It's been a pretty fast, pretty strong mover. I just be cautious about adding on up here. Like I said, I think it could come back down here to 129, but honestly, it's just one of the ones you just can't really trade it right now. You could continue to catch the move, they continue to push to the upside, or it can get one of these moves we've been seeing lately on these moves like this to where it just kind of trades sideways, kind of like AVGO's done, kind of like Microsoft's done, kind of like Meta's done. So just be cautious. It can burn premiums up if it decides it wants to trade side to the side and down. But as of right now, like I said, it's been trying to maintain this 139 level, which is critical in my opinion for it to continue to maintain some strength. So that's hood. Be cautious. It's overbought in my opinion. Apple's been being Apple. Doesn't want to come down. I would keep an eye out for this right here. So I got a 260 price target for rejection. To the downside, I'm still looking at 240, 245 as far as the push to the downside. It does have this little gap that's unfilled right here. So if it does decide to break down outside this little triangle wedge or whatnot, if it breaks down, watch it come down and retest 249, 250. Um, this is gonna have to get filled at some point. You feel me? Even down here and down here. So just keep an eye out for Apple. I wouldn't trade it just because it's so high and it hasn't really made too much of movement or noise. But for the most part, um, if this pattern starts to break, then we could see some profit taking start lining up going into this new quarter, and these gaps start getting filled back down to the downside. So, like I said, Apple calls can pay, but be cautious. Profit taking can step in at any given time. Any given time. So everything's just kind of high right now. Extremely high. Nvidia. Let's see. It's finally broke. It's the 184.50 rejection that we've been seeing lately. And it broke out of that yesterday. I alerted 195s. 1024 195 calls, which are up 5% at the moment from where we entered at. So if semiconductors start to run, and Nvidia is one of those ones that kind of follow like AVGO did, I think ASML made a nice run to $1,000 today. Watching video for the 189 retest. Well, not retest, but the 189 uh, rejection. And then if it continues to push up, we could see that 195, 194, 195 contract, print even further if we continue to go up. So another nice gap up. Like I said, Nvidia normally likes to gap up in threes. We got 1, 2, and if we gap up tomorrow above this 189, we could see it shoot up toward this 194.65. So that's what I'm kind of got my eyes on. Like I said, we got some heavy news Friday, so that's probably gonna play a pivotal point in the market pumping some more, or starting to come down and retrace and find out what buyers want to step in a little bit more. So 184.58 seems to be the support level at the moment. So if you want to enter, if we see those, that'll be the first place that I'll watch for to see if it's some support sets up. You see on the 5-minute chart how it kind of held, even as it dipped, it held on to that support level here, even though it briefly broke below it. But the buyer stepped back in, pushed it up back high. We closed around 187. So 184.50 is your current support level for Nvidia. If you want to go out the money, 195 will be the strike price that I like. Should have a ton of open interest and a ton of volume, even if you go with a little time on the expiration date. So 20% is always my choice, 20-25% for a stop loss. If you do get in a play just because you want to preserve capital, you don't want theta to burn you up too much. Because just like we got this gap up, we haven't seen Nvidia gap up to get away from this supply zone right here. Not yet. So we do need that gap up in order for it to break away, and then for it not to get drugged back down to this level right here. So let's see. We got Palantir, MSTR, Hood, Apple, Q, Spy, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta. I told you I stay away from that one. Big gap down right here. It's trading below new lows, and it got very close to our support range around 709.50, 704.45. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. Meta, but it's just been trading to the downside ever since 788. So it's actually getting to a point to where buyers are going to start stepping in pretty soon, around 695 and 780, 695 and 685. Anywhere around here, you should be able to get in some decent calls. 722 on a retest, probably November calls would be my choice. They're expensive, but if you get in at the right moments, then you can get that spike back up to the upside on Meta and make a nice little print on the upside. So eyes on Meta if it gets below the 709 price range. Set your alerts up. One thing I'm noticing about this new quarter, a lot of the money shifting around the Mag 7. Microsoft starting to break out. It finally took out these highs that it's been fighting for the past couple of times that it's got within its range. So it's finally breaking out. It's pushing towards its 522 target. So I'm not all the way sold on it just quite yet. It needs to get above 538 to really just break out and push back up to the upside. So um, we have seen some buyers, step in around this range. The only thing that concerned me was this gap right here at 502, but it seems like it's not wanting to feel it quite just yet. So um, it's a little money to make to the upside on Microsoft. I wouldn't overstay my welcome until it starts establishing, some actual support above these ranges. Because most of my buy targets right now for Microsoft are back down below 492, 485, 481, 477. Um, you know, it's money to be made in the upside, but the way that I chart, I have to abide by it. Even if it tends to be inversing, volume might be low and it's pushing everything to the upside right now. I just look for clean setups, even though, I might miss some of the pumps, but um, I'll be kicking myself if I know my chart tells me be cautious and I'm getting calls and I'm overstay my welcome and they pull the rug quickly. Um, they've done it before. So even though we've seen this nice pump to the upside, they can pull the money out at any time, especially with some negative news looming over the market's head. So um, this could be a reason why it's pumping because of the government shutdown. People are expecting the market to fall. So, the psychology behind it is we're going to throw this news out. People going to expect it to come down. But in the meanwhile, we're going to pump it up with low volume. That tends to, that's what it looks like is happening right now. Um, you just have to play it by ear and don't overstay your welcome. But Microsoft looks good to at least retest this 522.75 level. So want to watch for that. Tesla. Tesla started making new highs. Finally hit this 460 level. Actually ran up to 462. Um, it did come back down though. So even though Tesla's running, it's gonna want to establish support. It's kind of had a choppy moment here in between 442 and 432. So that's one of the things I was telling you guys about when a lot of the prices are in a bunch of red, expect chop. But when the market wants to pump it and squeeze out the bears or the bulls, in this case, it's squeezing out the bears. Um, this 460, 461 range will be the level that you'll watch for as far as rejections or a supply and demand flip. So just be careful if you're a Tesla bull. I think it could still pump up to at least 478, but just be cautious. Um, this isn't a market that you just really want to jump head into real heavy on the call side, in my opinion, just because everything is so overbought. Um, in the case we see stocks like Meta at the moment, Amazon, MSTR was briefly one of those stocks that was um, oversold, but it's back in that level that it's deciding to want to push up and it wants to shake out some of those bears. So I'm not a big fan on Tesla while it's this high. The premiums are probably still juiced up on both the calls and the put side. So just be wary. It's starting to shoot back down to 418 at any time if some type of catalyst comes out, delivery or something like that pops out. Just because it's so many bears waiting to eat in this range. So 478 is my next price target. If we shoot back down to the downside, 432, about 432 will be my target if it shoots back down to the downside. We had a lot of chop in this zone right here, so that's why I'm watching this. Because even though it's consolidated in here, we've seen brief dips below it, and it runs right back up, back inside this zone. So that's why I said we come back down to the downside. At least 432 will be the level that I watch out for on it. And last but not least, Google. Saw a nice little run up on Google today. Over the past couple of days, maybe week, we saw some rejection at 251 and 254. So it did enter back into this nice little buyer's area right here, and it's squeezing out the bears again. So um, we could see it make another little run up back up to 251, but if the market decides it wants to pull back again and drop back below 242, as you can see, it got this little descending trend right here that it's retesting and it's bouncing off of. So it can slowly continue to make lower lows until it eventually slides itself back down here to the 230s, 235, 234. But for the meantime, let's see how that trend works. Yeah, let's see how that works. So keep your eyes on Google. Um, like I said, everything is just kind of high at the moment. Um, MSTR is getting crushed, and this is, I mean, not MSTR, SQQ is getting crushed. This is one of the stocks that I've been watching, and it's getting pummeled down to the ground right now. It was holding this area pretty solid, but it decided that it finally wanted to break down below it, and we're sitting at the moment right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually go back within this range. It's just when. But for the now, the next support level right now is around like $14.91. So I'm just keeping my eyes out on that at the moment. So not gonna keep you long. I just wanted to give y'all a brief recap of the market and what it has to offer. Um, I thought we'd probably had some type of little pullback by now. Apparently not. We got bullish engulfing candles on, uh, was it SPY daily? Yeah, we got bullish engulfing candles on SPY daily. So, it's showing strength. And we just have to continue to play it to the upside until those lows are taken out for the most part. So, trend is your friend. Continue to take those entries to the upside until those lows are taken out. Put time on the contracts if you're gonna go long. You don't want to get chopped up by the theta, because you want to give the delta opportunity to work for you for the most part. So if you have any questions, if you have any tickets you want to look at, drop them in the comments on the video. The next recap I'll mark them up. I'll show them to you guys and let you know what I think. But a lot of my levels, I'll probably end up switching them up since we're going into a new quarter. I want to get ready for the next earnings and see what the market has to offer, so that way those strike prices can I can put my finger on those fairly early. So that's all I got for now. We'll give the market another day or so to play out. Then we'll come back and we'll revisit some more levels and see what we got going. So definitely dope spending time with y'all, talking charts, talking stock prices. But for the time now, I'm out. Now I'll catch you guys on the next time.